Hey there! So I had some people asking me for the full length recipe for how to make my raw vegan brownies that only have 7 ingredients. So I wanted to show you the whole process from beginning to end and of course give y'all the full recipe. So let's get started. The secret sweetness in these brownies is from dates. So you'll want pitted dried dates that you're going to then boil to make them nice and soft. And you really only have to boil them for about 10 minutes before you can go ahead and drain them and then put them into your food processor and blend them until they're nice and smooth and creamy. Your food processor is going to be your best friend in this recipe. Then you can go ahead and remove the dates from the food processor and set them aside. Next up, we need to add to the food processor 1 cup of almonds and 1 cup of walnuts. This is going to be the base of the brownies. We're basically going to use the nuts instead of flour to really make these full of healthy fats and a kind of richness that you just can't get with actual flour brownies. The trick here is that you really have to be aggressive about blending these nuts. If you don't blend them enough, then it'll be too chunky to actually use as your brownie dough. This is about the consistency you want, almost like a fine meal. Now we can add the dates back in, as well as our next ingredient, which will be the cocoa powder. That's going to give it that rich chocolatey taste. Then everything comes together in the food processor. You might be worried that it won't blend, but if you have a powerful enough food processor, it'll slowly all start to come together. It's kind of cool to watch the color change as the cocoa powder mixes with the nuts and with the dates, and really it's going to become the dough of the brownies. It'll almost get to a dough-like consistency. You can see there it's all clumped together. That's the consistency we're looking for. Now we're transferring this dough into a 9x9 dish that you would cook brownies in normally. You're going to want to make sure it's lined with parchment paper or aluminum foil or something like that, and get all of the dough. Make sure you don't lose any because this stuff, it's so tasty and wonderful. Again, we used nuts instead of flour, so that way we don't have to cook these at all, which makes them, again, raw vegan brownies. Once you have all of the dough into the pan, you can go ahead and use a spatula or even just your fingers if you want to push it down until it's all smooth and flat and even into all of the corners. Now we're going to pop these into the freezer for just 20 short minutes. While the dough is chilling, we're going to go ahead and make the frosting. So the frosting is made with nut butters and cocoa powder. I'm using peanut butter today, some smooth peanut butter, some crunchy peanut butter. It's really up to your taste and preference. You could also, of course, substitute out almond butter if you have a peanut allergy. Then we're adding cocoa powder, then adding just a little bit of almond milk to help make it a little bit more liquidy. And then we're heating it all up to combine it, and this is where you'll have to be kind of quick because you don't want it to overheat because then it'll get dry again. You want it to be just a little bit liquidy so it's smooth enough to spread like frosting, but not too liquidy because then it'll run all over the place. It doesn't look too appetizing now, but trust me, trust the process. This frosting is really tasty by the end of this. And the last step is to add maple syrup to add some natural sweetness to this frosting. I'm going to go ahead and turn my burner back on to heat this all through once more. I turned it off because it was getting just a bit too thick for my liking. Now I'm going to mix it all together and it will be all nice and smooth and ready to spread on my brownies. Here we go, final step. All we gotta do is top the base of the brownies with the fudgy frosting, and these will be ready to eat. I'm so excited. Again, I hope you enjoyed this super easy raw vegan recipe. I know eating raw as a vegan can sometimes be intimidating, but these brownies really, it's no big deal. They're just tasty, and they just are a little bit better for you than normal brownies because they have all those nuts and healthy ingredients in them, and they're free of processed sugars and things like that, which is really nice. Look at the way that frosting spreads. Again, I used a little bit of crunchy peanut butter, so you can see those little bits and pieces of peanuts in there, which I think adds a really cool texture and makes it look just a little bit prettier. Thanks so much for sticking around to the end of this video. If you like this video and this recipe, I hope you give it a try and that you hit subscribe so you can get more cool vegan ideas. If you have any problems or are confused about anything, make sure to just leave a comment in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to get back to you. And of course, the full recipe is in the description below, so make sure you check that out. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit the like button. It's the best way to support this channel. And with that being said, I hope you enjoyed these brownies and that I can see you in the next video. Yum!